Chapter 61. 61 Rabbit Nest. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 61 Rabbit Nest. Xiao Xian picked 2 more orchids, but there was no activity in the space. After the orchids were taken, they continued to hunt prey. Xiao Xian suddenly felt that the superpower was expanding. It was getting more sensitive as well. It was getting late and they headed home. Xiao Xiaoqi had hunted 3 roosters, but Xiao Xian did not have time to boost him. She thought for a while and decided to drop the idea. Too many prey might draw attention, and this amount was enough. She had the superpower, with which she did not have to worry about anything. Xiao Xiaoqi and Xiao Taotao thought the same. So they went to pick the chopped trees and started to head home. But suddenly, on the way home, Xiao Xian sensed a big activity. On a hill 30 meters away from them, there were hundreds of wild rabbits that had dug hundreds of nests, thanks to the terrain. It was indeed a kingdom of rabbits. Xiao Xian got so overjoyed. She paused and turned in that direction. There is a wild grape tree growing really vividly at that place. I want to take it home. Her small request was not turned down by anyone from the team. So they decided to head towards that place. Then, Xiao Xiaoqi accidentally noticed the rabbits on the hill, and as he took a closer look in that direction, he saw that there were so many of them. Fifth brother, fifth sister. Law, Taotao, just come and see. There are so many wild rabbits here. This must be their kingdom. How wonderful. Xiao Xiaoqi's eyes sparkled. He was really excited. Xiao Taotao cheered. Remember this place. Henceforth, we will have endless wild rabbits to eat. Xiao Xian nodded with a smile. Same as what I think. They could not help but try to get some more prey on their way home. Xiao Xiaoqi had the itch of holding the arrow and brought down 2 wild rabbits. The rabbits which were eating grass next to them, hushed into the hole. Xiao Xiaoqi went to pick up the 2 rabbits and smiled at them. I have created this place in mind. Xiao Xian smiled. That makes everything so easy. Yes. Now, they were fully loaded. Apart from the roosters, rabbits and trees, they had got some more mushrooms, including wild shiitakes, enoki mushrooms, and porcini mushrooms. They even pulled out a bunch of wild onions, as well as cress by the creeks. On their way home, they paused and happened to find a patch of yams. They dug 3 to 4 kilos of them. Xiao Xiaoqi smiled. We won't make it today, but tomorrow, me and Taotao, as well as my elder sister. Law, will come to dig up everything from this patch. Yams can be stored, and they don't go bad even after being stored for 2 months in the dungeon of the yard. Xiao Taotao smiled. Yams are my favorite food. Pink and sticky, very tasty. Xiao Xiaoqi added. Fifth sister. Law, will you be able to make any dishes with yams? Xiao Yunduan and Xiao Taotao turned to Xiao Xian when he asked the question. Xiao Yunduan was curious, but Xiao Taotao was looking forward to the answer. Xiao Xian smiled. Of course, yes. We can wok, stew, cook porridge and serve cold dishes with yams. We can also make yam mash, steam tams, crush them or add egg flour to make yam cakes, dry and grind yam into powder to make yam pastry, and hang syrup to make yam desserts, Xiao Taotao gasped. So many ways of eating yams. Everything sounded so tasty. Xiao Xiaoqi could not help but show a drooling look. Fifth brother, you are so lucky to have married such a capable fifth sister. Law. Xiao Yunduan. Xiao Xian laughed. We can stew wild roosters with yams tonight, then we can also eat woked sliced yams and syrup yams. Now, I am craving for them too. Chapter 62. 62 Sour. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 62 Sour. Xiao Xiaoqi and Xiao Taotao nodded out of excitement. They hurried back home. Once they went back home, Xiao Xiaoqi and Xiao Taotao became busy in processing the yams, mushrooms and roosters, whilst Xiao Yunduan kept Xiao Xian company and helped to put down the wild lemons and bergamots as well as grapes. As the wild grapes were planted in the opening place inside the land, Xiao Xian decided to set up a frame. She decided to try if the superpower could change the quality of the fruits, which she firmly believed could. She was especially satisfied by the 2 wild lemons, and she looked at them with deep affection. Xiao Yunduan could not help but ask. Would the fruits taste good when planted in this way? Xiao Xian smiled. What do you think? Xiao Yunduan thought for a while and said, maybe not. The fruits looked like citruses, but they were not. On the other hand, fruit trees such as wild citrus produced fruits that were basically either bitter, astringent or sour, and could not be eaten at all. Xiao Xian smiled. You are right, the fruits would taste very sour. Xiao Yunduan just could not understand. He became even more curious. Then, why did you bring them home as if they were precious things? Xiao Xian answered. I like sour things. Xiao Yunduan. He felt that she was talking about something else. She liked sour things. Did she mean that she could get sour and jealous very easily? That made Xiao Yunduan's heart skip a beat. But then Xiao Xian chuckled. Alright, I will not tease you any more. Lemons are sour, but they are good for seasoning, better than vinegar. You wait until I make some dishes for you to taste, when the fruits get ripened. There were many dishes that could be made with lemons, such as lemon ducks, lemon chicken, lemon shrimps, lemon fish, lemon ribs, sugar lemon syrup, lemon honey water, etc. However, the pity was that they could not buy a large amount of chicken feet, otherwise she could make a very tasty chicken feet dish. Xiao Yunduan stiffened and let out a very expressionless okay. He started to feel a bit shameless inside his heart. He had misunderstood her again. She just wanted to make dishes with lemons, and meant nothing else. What was he thinking about? Luckily she was not aware of what he was thinking, otherwise. Xiao Xian saw that his interest had dropped, and thought that he may not have believed her. So, she kept explaining to him. It is true. Trust me, wild lemons create yummy dishes. I am sure that you will change your mind after one bite. Xiao Yunduan replied. I don't like sour things. Xiao Xian blinked. Then you definitely need to try the dishes, they have a different kind of sourness. Xiao Yunduan. He really had no interest in hearing the word sour anymore. It would make him think too much of what should not have been considered. Just have a try. She insisted. Okay, Xiao Yunduan simply wanted to end the topic. Xiao Xian chuckled. There was no flower pot for orchids, so Xiao Yunduan decided to buy some porcelain pots from the porcelain sellers. He was going to put down the orchids as soon as possible. Xiao Xian insisted on going there with him. The village was very close to where they lived, and it took them less than 10 minutes. There were all kinds of porcelain at the store, some of which were terribly made, and some were nature-looking and possessed ancient elements. Xiao Xian was obsessed with everything on the shelf. Xiao Yunduan picked 6 pots and the seller tied up everything with one straw rope. They were headed home as it was getting late. On the way home, they suddenly heard a man and a woman talking with each other in the bushes. The steamed bun tastes so good, the filling is leeks with eggs, I have not yet eaten such delicious food for so long. Just enjoy yourself, I can bring you 2 more around this time tomorrow. Chapter 63. 63 Cultivated Talents Wife. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 63 Cultivated Talents Wife, do you want to have a bite too? No thanks, I have food at home. Brother Xiao, you are so nice. I wonder if we can get married, as we wish to. Don't worry, I already told my mom that I will only marry you. I will tell mom again tomorrow. She is a very soft-hearted person, and I am her son. I am sure that she will give her consent to our marriage. Really? You should not lie to me. I will definitely not. Ah, the steamed buns are so tasty. Xiao Xian tilted her head and looked at Xiao Yunduan. Xiao Yunduan had no expression on his face, but he was not in a good mood. Xiao Xian used her superpower and figured out who the boy and the girl were. The boy was Xiao Sanlang, Xiao Yunduan's brother, whilst the other was a 16-year-old girl. She was dressed in a blouse with many stitched patches and her hair had turned yellow. But her skin was fair and her lips were very thin. She had a very tall nose bridge, and looked quite pretty. But for the malnutrition, she would have looked even better. Yang Xiaoni, which was the name that emerged inside Xiao Xian's head. Her brother.in.law was talking about marrying a girl like that, but her mother.in.law did not say anything about it. She had no idea why there was no approval, and she had an interest in gossip. She believed that her mother.in.law must have had some reason to turn down the marriage. Xiao Xian was quite surprised to hear how Yang Xiaoni talked and what she looked like. She seemed like a very nice girl. Xiao Yunduan was, however, thinking inside his heart that his brother was acting so unreliably. What was he doing here? He was speaking so loudly close to the road. It was lucky that it had been him and Xiao Xian who heard their conversation. What if they were heard by someone else? Moreover, he should not have had a date with someone privately. It was so immoral. Xiao Yunduan made some coughing sound. The voices in the bushes stopped suddenly. Brother, it is getting late, time to go home. Xiao Yunduan said. Then a shushing sound came, and Xiao Sanlang walked out. Behind him was Yang Xiaoni, who looked bashful and was twisting the hem of her blouse. Oh, brother, and sister.in.law, Xiao Sanlang scratched his head, looking timid. Cultivated talent Xiao, and cultivated talent's wife, I need to leave. Yang Xiaoni forced a smile and greeted Xiao Yunduan and Xiao Xian, as she dashed off. Xiao Xian almost held her laughter, cultivated talent's wife. What kind of title was that? You went to buy pots, for flowers. Oh, there are so many of them, let me carry some for you. Xiao Sanlang said with a flattering laugh, and grabbed the pots from Xiao Yunduan's arms. He blinked at his brother and begged. Brother, please don't mention this to Mom, okay? Keep this a secret from me, and I will give you all, no, half of what I earn, for real. He needed to use the other half to buy food for Xiaoni. Xiao Yunduan looked at him with no expression on his face. You better pray that no one else will pass by you in the future. Xiao Sanlang's face changed as he said regretfully, I wasn't paying attention, there were no rules in the countryside like this. Girls from farmers' families went down to the field to work. There was always a matchmaker who would arrange the marriage, if the two sides found each other to be good suitors. But private dates did not work that well. There would be gossip and rumors spread all around, once they were heard and seen like this. Moreover, Mom did not like the Young family. Chapter 64. 64 No explanation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 64 No explanation, it is my fault. Xiao Sanlang struck his own head. He looked so anxious. What should we do? Brother, please help me think of a solution. Xiao Yunduan frowned. Brother. Xiao Sanlang got anxious. You can't watch me suffer just because you have married such a good wife. I even helped you drive away bad people in the past. Xiao Xian could not help but throw a look at Xiao Yunduan, who happened to be looking at her. Xiao Xian was smiling and Xiao Yunduan instantly withdrew his look. He could not make it clear to his brother about his actual relationship with Xiao Xian. How can I help you? The girl is good, but her brother and sister.in.law want 80 liang as the wedding gifts, not a one less. What can you expect Mom to do? Xiao Sanlang was struck speechless. Xiao Xian was surprised too. No wonder her mother.in.law did not approve of the marriage, even though the girl was good and her son loved her. It was young Xiaoni's brother and sister. In law who were the issue. 80 liang, that was really too much. It seemed that they believed young Xiaoni was the girl whom the man loved, and that their sister would be able to get a lot of wedding gifts from her future in laws. If they had only asked for 20 liang, then her mother. In law might have tried her best to offer that. Xiao Sanlang let out a sigh of disappointment. That couple is just crazy. They bully Xiaoni every day and make her do all kind of hard work. They even starve her. Brother, she is really suffering from a terrible life. Oh, please, Xiao Sanlang turned to Xiao Xian, sounding hesitant. Before he could say anything, Xiao Yunduan said, "Stop it." Xiao Sanlang let out a sigh of disappointment and said nothing. Xiao Xian got it. The brother. In law wanted to ask for a loan from her dowry, and hence, Xiao Yunduan interrupted him when he found it not to be proper. Xiao Xian had no intention of getting involved, but now she turned a little soft-hearted. She asked in a soft tone. "Brother, can you talk with Mom about having a talk with the young family? Maybe they are just asking for a price randomly, and we can negotiate the bride price. No one else would offer such money either. Honestly speaking, even if the girl is sold as a maid to some rich family, the price would be 20 liang. The young family should know what to do." Xiao Sanlang did not feel that he was offended. Instead, his eyes sparkled. "True. You are right, they should know that marrying Xiaoni to me is the best deal. Thanks, sister. In law, I will talk with Mom about it." Xiao Xian smiled. "You are welcome." Xiao Sanlang smiled and turned to Xiao Yunduan. "You think I can make it this time?" Xiao Yunduan said, "I am not sure." They could not predict what the young family would think. His mother had been to the family twice, and the couple should know about his brother's affection towards Xiaoni. His mother's third visit would make things worse, maybe. Xiao Sanlang looked annoyed. "Can't you say something nice?" Xiao Yunduan sighed. "Pretty words don't work." Xiao Sanlang. Xiao Xian chuckled. As they returned home, they chopped the orchids and Xiao Xian went to the kitchen, to make some more dishes. Chapter 65. 65 Coldness. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 65 Coldness. Xiao Taotao and Xiao Xiaoqi were waiting for Xiao Xian and they cheered as they caught sight of her. Fifth sister. In law, we have already dealt with the chicken, rabbits, and yams. We are all waiting for you. Even Ms. Fong and Ms. Su were wearing a look of expectation. They all liked the dishes Xiao Xian made. In the past, they only knew how to stew and braise wild roosters and rabbits, but she was able to create different ways of eating, which they never got tired of. Gradually, the whole family became slightly biased about Xiao Xian's food. As for her splurging of oil, salt and seasoning, well, they could just ignore that. Xiao Xian nodded with a smile and went into the kitchen, with her sleeves rolled up. They had 3 wild roosters and 2 wild rabbits. 2 of the rabbits were hidden, unknown to the other sections of the family. When the ants from the other 2 sections came to get a wild rooster for each of them, Miss Fong ignored them. They only had 1 wild rooster and 1 rabbit for her own family, and the other wild rabbit could be left for tomorrow night. The yams were stewed with chicken and porcinis, whilst rabbits were fried with chili and garlic. Then, she soaked a handful of fungus that had dried 2 days ago, cut water celery into sections, sliced yams with an oblique knife, and fried them together. Not only was the dish fresh and delicious, but the color looked really bright as well. After that, she fried a dish of lettuce. The yams were diced and served on the table after being well placed. Soon, she made 1 more dish of sugar-coated yams. As they were about to eat the food, Xiao Xian told everyone to eat the sugar-coated yams first. It would not taste good when it gets cold. The whole yams had been cooled with a layer of amber-colored syrup, looking crystal clear and beautiful. Even the air felt sweet, delicious and attractive. Everyone started to pick up the chopsticks. Oh, it is so delicious. It is very sweet and nice. How did you come up with this idea of making yams? Let me eat some more. Ms. Su was surprised too. She, on one hand, gave some to her children whilst stuffing a lot into her own mouth. She believed that the dish would taste equally good even after it turned cold. Ms. Fong was also a little worried about the sugar, thinking that Ms. Chiao had used too much of it. She was going to tell her to save some sugar even though it was bought with her own money. Seeing her grandchildren enjoying themselves, Ms. Fong said with a smile, "You have eaten so much, third son. Don't eat any more, spare some for Junyan and Qing." Eldest uncle was eating as he started to speak. All children like it. We can spare some, so Tao Tao can share some with Xianwen and Wan later. Xiao Xianwen and Xiao Wan were the grandchildren of the second uncle. Cold air spread across the table the moment the words were spoken. Xiao Xian pursed her lips. It was enough. Ms. Fong sneered. We have very little ourselves, and we will get troubled by the second and the third sections of the family. I don't think they will get enough of our food. Xiao Sanlang nodded. True. Then, he stuffed a slice into his own mouth again. Xiao Junyan had just finished what he was given in the bowl and he wanted to have some more. But Ms. Su did not dare to take any more slices after hearing what her father-in-law said. She consoled him by patting his back and offered him wild roosters instead. Ms. Fong did not care. She gave Xiao Junyan some more and said, "Lovely grandson, we barely have a chance to eat such a thing, take as much as you want." She did not want to share anything with any other sections of the family, when she had her grandchildren to take care of. Chapter 66. 66 Not countering. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 66 Not countering. Noel.n Eldest uncle's face sank. Xiao Yunduan said, "Dad, just eat your food. We can share some things when we have more in the future." Xiao Xian smiled. True, when we have sugar next time, I can make half a basin for them if they want. As for the dishes on the table, she had full control of them since she bought them with her dowry. Ms. Fong snapped. I won't buy this much sugar. Eldest uncle was stuck with anger. Why was Ms. Chiao talking about her dowry all the time? He simply had no way to counter her. He could only abstain from eating every dish bought with her dowry. But there was nothing else he could do. After all, he could not stop the others from eating the dishes. Eldest uncle suddenly felt very sad. It seemed as if he were like an outsider, though he was the master of the family, whilst the others present belonged to another family. Xiao Xian had no idea what Xiao Sanlang said to her mother-in-law, but she found that her mother-in-law looked very gloomy the following morning. After breakfast, Ms. Fong asked Xiao Xian to come to her side. "Ms. Chiao, could you please accompany me to a place later?" She had been feeling embarrassed when she first started the conversation, but gradually, she got excited. Honestly, that couple of the Yang family are goddamned hooligans, right? 80 Liang. Do they think that Yang Xiaoni is a fairy? We are trying to talk about marriage, but they are selling their sister. They want nothing but money. They annoyed me so badly last time. But Yang Xiaoni is a very strong girl and she can do a lot of labor work. Moreover, my son loves her, but what can we do about her family? And this son of mine seems to be so obsessed with her. What do I do about it? Ms. Fong made a lot of complaints and told Xiao Xian that she was very clever, so she hoped that she could keep her company while visiting the Yang family. Ms. Su was not reliable. She did bring Ms. Su with her last time, but the daughter-in-law did not dare to utter any words. She just stood there motionlessly like a piece of wood. Xiao Xian would not turn down her mother-in-law's request. She consoled her and said with a smile, "Mom, if you like that girl from the Yang family and my brother loves her, then I will keep you company. But how much do you want to offer as a wedding present to them?" We need to have an estimate for the bottom line figure. Ms. Fong suddenly felt her heart ache. They had no savings at home. The other sections of the family kept their eyes glued upon all the income she earned from selling pigs, chickens, ducks, eggs, beans and even peanuts. Xiao Yunduan was quite frugal at school and often earned his pocket money by copying books in exchange for paper and ink with bookstores. She also hunted many animals which brought in some income. But Xiao Yunduan's wedding almost cost them everything they had. So she had less than 10 liang in savings. This was after accumulating the change she earned as well as the payment she got from Xiao Dalong's salary from Xiao Xian as well as the 5 qian Xiao Xiaoqi offered to her a couple of days ago. She decided to borrow 2 liang from some friends because by the end of the year, she could get 10 liang after selling the pigs. 10 at most, or 11 liang, no more. 10 liang was already a large amount. Villagers did not have a rich life, and for those who had the intention of starting a martial relationship, 3 or 5 liang would already be enough. 6 or 7 liang would mean a large wedding. Chapter 67. 67 meaning you are listening at novelfull.audio. 67 meaning 10 liang was already over the top. But the Yang family had asked for 80 liang, and 10 liang might not work. Mom. Xiao Xian smiled. What about me offering 10 liang as well and together, we have 20 liang. Listen to me, Mom, I don't do housework, and third sister.in.law might not like me after she comes to our family because of my laziness. But if I pay the 10 liang here, she will not be able to say anything bad about me. Then, we will have one large, happy family. I am actually taking advantage of you all. Ms. Fong was startled. After thinking about it, she could not utter a word in response. She sighed. Ms. Chiao, this is, Mom. Xiao Xian smiled. My husband is studying at school and you all support him. So it is our duty to make contributions to the family. When my husband gets a promising job in the future, he is going to take care of the family. Okay. Ms. Fong patted her hands slightly. It is Duan's luck to have married a wife like you. If he ever treats you badly, you have to tell me. I will teach him a lesson on your behalf. No matter whether he is going to have a promising future, he will never betray you. Xiao Xian's heart turned warm and she said with a smile, Mom, I will keep your words in mind. If my husband treats me badly, I will report him to you directly so you can hit him. Ms. Fong smiled. Of course, of course. You are so nice, Mom. Outside the room, Xiao Yunduan left from there but he felt that his feet were floating high on the air. His head had turned messy. He really had no idea what this woman was thinking about. What did she mean? She should not have made such an offer. Moreover, it wasn't so nice to say things so boldly. What was she thinking all the time? After Xiao Xian and Ms. Fong were done with the discussion, they headed to the Yang family together. Yang Xiaoni's parents passed away ages ago, and her brother, Yang Liang and sister.in.law, Miss Tian were both lazy, and greedy. They should have gone out for work by this hour, but in the Yang family, only Yang Xiaoni was forced to do the hard work whilst Yang Liang was just idling around and Miss Tian was lazing around at home. Seeing Miss Fong coming over with her daughter.in.law, Miss Tian's eyes sparkled. Oh hey, you are here again, come in and take a seat. She sized up Xiao Xian and displayed a look of greed. She showed a hidden smile. This daughter.in.law of yours couldn't have been born in the countryside. She must be your 5th daughter.in.law, the daughter of the county magistrate, right? Oh, she looks so beautiful. Only a cultivated talent can be a match for her. Ms. Fong knew what Ms. Tian was doing. But she was happy to hear what was being said, so she added. My daughter.in.law is a very good girl. Of course. Ms. Tian showed a smile and sent her elder son to get his father back. After a few sentences, Ms. Tian asked purposefully. What are you doing here? Ms. Fong was cursing her inwardly. This Ms. Tian was trying to calculate Ms. Chiao. But for her stupid son who had fallen for Yang Xiaoni, she would not have walked into a family like this ever in her life. Who would want to hang out with someone like this? Ms. Fong smiled. Let's wait until your husband comes back. Ms. Tian smiled and said confidently, of course, my husband makes decisions for all kinds of important things in the house. Soon, Yang Liang hurried back. He looked at Ms. Chiao and Ms. Fong, greeting them happily. Chapter 68 68 Yang Xiaoni's Happiness. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 68 Yang Xiaoni's Happiness. Yang Liang was sizing up Xiao Xian while they were talking. He looked greedy and indecent. Xiao Xian felt very disgusted. Ms. Fong sank her face and coughed. Yang Liang, you two know what I am here for. We think that Xiaoni is very diligent and kind, so we need to talk about the wedding gift. Yang Liang and his wife exchanged a look between themselves. They looked really proud. They knew that the Xiao family would be coming to them. Ms. Tian snapped inside her heart. What was so good about Yang Xiaoni? Xiao Sanlang was so obsessed that he just wanted to marry her. The Xiao family was a good family. Why should Yang Xiaoni go and enjoy herself? Ms. Fong was not a very good-tempered woman, and they even had one cultivated talent at home. It was said that the second and the third section of the family were not very good-tempered either. So they needed to find some way to control them. The little bitch Xiaoni was good-looking enough to marry anyone. She should stay at home and do some more labor before she married some old man as a concubine. That was a better plan. Ms. Tian believed that as long as Yang Xiaoni married someone bad, she could be flexible with the wedding gifts. It was because of this thought, Yang Liang asked for a very high price as wedding gifts. Otherwise, Yang Liang would have said yes about the Yang family marrying Yang Xiaoni. Yang Liang smiled. Ms. Fong, my sister is very good looking, and she is worth around 100 liang. If you want to have her as part of your family, you won't care about this little amount of money, would you? What are you talking about? Ms. Fong was both surprised and angry. 100 liang. You raised the price. And, this little amount of money. Did the Yang family have this much? Yang Liang said, of course, you have got a rich daughter. In law. Why do you care so much about this little amount of money? True. Ms. Tian showed a false smile. When your fifth daughter. In law held the wedding, she had 26 sets of dowry. That is more than 100 liang, right? Yang Liang nodded in agreement and then added. 100 liang, and 6 sets of cotton garments. Ms. Tian said, also, a pair of silver hairpins and 1 pair of bracelets. Ms. Fong got so annoyed. How dare you say these things? We can have any girl as a daughter. In law we want, yours is not necessary. Ms. Fong was so annoyed. She had never met anyone so disgusting. Ms. Tian let out a snort. She said slowly, Ms. Fong, you have a fifth daughter. In law who has so much dowry. You don't even want to pay this much money. I think it is because you are not actually sincere. Ms. Fong snapped. Ms. Chiao has full control of her dowry. We would never covet it. Also, we would never pay so much to marry someone home. Stop dreaming. It seems we have nothing to talk about anymore. Ms. Chiao, let's leave. Ms. Fong regretted having paid such a visit. It was so humiliating. She swore that she was not going to be here ever again. She was not going to bring in Yang Xiaoni as her daughter. In law either. She was going to teach her third son a lesson. She was going to find another suitable girl for him so he could forget about Yang Xiaoni. Mom. Xiao Xian patted Ms. Fong's hand and said to them, Yang Xiaoni is 18 years old. You want to keep her until she becomes too old. If we have her as the daughter. In law, we will definitely not treat her badly. You really don't want to allow her to be part of our family, right? Chapter 69. 69 Xiao Xian's idea. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 69 Xiao Xian's idea. Yang Liang was startled and started to hesitate. He knew pretty well that but for Xiao Sanlang's affection towards Xiaoni, no families would turn their eyes upon a family like them. Ms. Tian sneered. You don't have to worry about a thing. Xiao Xian suddenly realized what was going on. Ms. Tian was trying to make this marriage not happen. All families were worried that their girls would be too old to get married, yet Ms. Tian feared nothing. She did not care about Yang Xiaoni, nor did she care about her reputation. She disliked Yang Xiaoni. No, she hated her. We want to offer 20 liang as a wedding gift. Are you not going to consider it? No, no way. Think about this, and we will come to you in a couple of days, said Xiao Xian and left with Ms. Fang. Mom, let's go to the village and find the land officer there. We can ask the chiefs of the Yang family for help. Ms. Fang sighed. Silly girl, it won't work even if we speak with them. They can't make the decision either. Yang Liang and Ms. Tian are a greedy couple and they won't listen to anyone. It was always the parents who decided who their daughter should marry, and when the parents were gone, their siblings would make the decision instead. Who else could have the authority? Xiao Xian sneered. Mom, we don't need them to have the decision-making authority. What we need is just to let the young village know that we are here to establish a marital relationship sincerely. There should be a turning point after that. Ms. Fang, who was angry, suddenly turned lively. She nodded. We can discuss this in detail. We should let everyone know what is going on, and at least, we can make the couple feel bad. Ms. Fang did not think that there would be any turning point. But, she could at least vent the anger. So, they headed to the land officer of the young village and then, they went to the chiefs and aunts. All of them could not help but sigh. Soon, the story spread all over the whole village. Yang Liang and his wife are crazy. Xiaoni is very pretty, and the Xiao family are so devoted. How could they say no? True, that is 20 liang. My daughter's wedding gift was only 6 liang. The couple is really terrible, you know. Ms. Tian lectures and hits Xiaoni and she has to do all the labor of the family. They would not want to marry her away. But Xiaoni has grown up. Are they going to keep her next to them forever? That is just too immoral. How dare you marry a girl to their family? It is definitely a pit. Poor Xiaoni. She has no parents. Her brother is such a useless man and her sister-in-law is stingy. Sigh. Poor girl. Poor girl, indeed. Yang Liang was so humiliated that he did not dare to go out. He was the brother, yet he was doing something wrong. Ms. Fang got really annoyed. She cursed at Ms. Fang and Ms. Chiao, and then she called the villagers nosy. They were not in the position to discuss their family affairs. It had nothing to do with them. I can marry my sister-in-law to anyone I want. None of your business. I don't care about the goddamned Xiao family. You can take them from me, if you want to. Chapter 70. 70 Ms. Tian's fierce words. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 70 Ms. Tian's fierce words. Ms. Tian cursed the whole village and everyone, who heard her, could not help but shake their heads. They were looking down at her. It was a common thing if a sister-in-law did not like her husband's sister, since stepmothers never liked the children from the previous marriage. Yet Ms. Tian's behavior was way over the top. She was not only forcing Yang Xiaoni to work hard and feed her no good food, but was also trying to ruin the rest of her life. Why was she not satisfied with the Xiao family? They were far better than the Yang family and they even had a cultivated talent in the family, who could have a promising future. They had offered a high-priced wedding gift as well, worth 20 liang. The Yang family had never seen a wedding gift of over 20 liang. The couple was asking for far too much. They craved for 100 liang as well as silver hairpins and bracelets as well as the best cotton. They were not really devoted to the marriage. They were trying to annoy the Xiao family. Ms. Tian complained all over the village, and someone reminded Yang Liang about his wife's behavior that might offend the whole village. If she caused a bad name for herself, their sons would never have any wife in the future. Only then did Yang Liang pull Ms. Tian back home. On the way home, Ms. Tian kept cursing loudly. Her two sons were too young to consider a potential wife. Ms. Tian could not help but get annoyed when she saw Yang Xiaoni back at home. She lectured constantly. Yang Xiaoni had her own way of survival and was used to being lectured by this sister-in-law of hers. She ignored those unfriendly words and also idled about when she was supposed to be working out there. She was trying her best not to exhaust herself. Ms. Tian was extremely fierce today. But she ignored those words as usual. Ms. Tian could not help but stand up and slap Yang Xiaoni's face. She screamed. "Bitch, what are you wearing this expression for when I am speaking with you? Can't I just tell you a few words when you live under my roof? You have to turn to me and ask for my permission, if you want to marry into a good family. Let me tell you, you are never going to marry anyone good." Yang Xiaoni was startled. She got annoyed, furious, irritated and scared. With hands over her face, she rushed out. Yang Xiaoni had 2 large hand prints on each of her cheeks, as she ran all the way to 3rd Grandma Yang and 3rd Grandpa Yang. She was begging in tears for help. 3rd Grandpa Yang was her grandpa's brother, and he was the close relative to the Yang family when her parents were still alive. The two families had a relatively good relationship. Yang Liang was useless, and Ms. Tian was rude, so during the past few years, no one from the village had the interest of hanging out with them. But when Yang Xiaoni came to the door and begged for help, 3rd Grandma Yang and 3rd Grandpa Yang could not help but feel moved. "What, Ms. Tian hit you? That is so cruel." 3rd Grandma Yang gasped as she said in a pitiful tone. She became increasingly annoyed when she thought of how Ms. Tian made ruckus across the whole village earlier that day. Soon, some chiefs and land officers were invited to 3rd Grandpa Yang's home. It was not a good thing if a rude and wild housewife was living in the village. The young village would be laughed at by others. They had to do something about this. Yang Xiaoni felt slightly assured and stood there respectfully. Xiao Sanlang had come to her secretly on the ground earlier and told her that if her sister-in-law hit her, she should go to 3rd Grandpa Yang for help with tears in eyes. She had not fully understood what was the reason for him saying so. But, her sister-in-law did hit her.